Ever imagine ditching school and, not to goof off or anything, but to tinker in a garage?
Yeah.
That's Soichiro Honda for you, our subject for this deep dive.
And not just any garage, right?
Right.
We're talking 1922, a tiny workshop out in rural Japan where a young Soichiro's fascination with machines was already taking root.
We've got excerpts from Historia de Honda to guide us. So let's unpack how this fascination, fueled by, well, relentless curiosity and some serious grit, bloomed into a global empire.
What's often overlooked is that this wasn't just a passion project.
Right.
Imagine growing up in poverty, losing 5 siblings just due to lack of medical care. That experience, it leaves a mark.
Yeah.
You can almost feel that urgency to create, to build something better, woven into the fabric of Honda's early years.
Yeah, it's like that drive wasn't just about him. You know what I mean? It was about proving something to the world, about defying the limitations that life had thrown his way.
Absolutely.
And it all starts with a Ford Model T, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Picture a young Soichiro chasing after that Model T, just mesmerized by its mechanics. This wasn't just childhood wonder. This sparked a lifelong obsession with engines and the potential they held.
Okay, but faking report cards to skip school and tinker in his dad's shop.
Wow.
That takes some serious guts.
It does.
It makes you wonder if his parents knew they had a budding engineer on their hands.
Right.
Or just a particularly rebellious teenager.
Perhaps a bit of both, but
yeah.
But there's a telling detail here.
Huh.
Honda wasn't just taking things apart. He was driven to understand how they worked.
Right.
Constantly experimenting, teaching himself the fundamentals of mechanics.
So it's 1922, he's 15, and he sets off for Tokyo.
Yep.
What possessed him to leave, the only life he knew for the chaos of the city.
This is where that ambition kicks into high gear.
Yeah?
He lands an apprenticeship at Art Shokai, a prestigious car repair shop in Tokyo.
Wow.
Imagine the culture shock, but also the sheer determination to learn from the best.
So you'd think they'd put him straight to work on these fancy foreign cars, but instead he gets stuck babysitting the owner's son.
It's true.
Talk about a reality check.
It's almost comical, but this seemingly menial task becomes a turning point.
Okay.
While watching the kid, Honda soaks up everything around him, observing the mechanics, studying the cars, essentially getting a crash course in the business of automobiles.
He's not just babysitting. He's conducting reconnaissance.
He is.
And eventually, he gets his chance.
Right? Exactly.
Okay.
His natural talent and that relentless drive can't be ignored for long.
Right.
He's promoted to mechanic, working on everything from Lincolns to Mercedes, getting his hands dirty with some of the most sophisticated machines of the era.
And this is where his passion for racing ignites.
It's like all those years of tinkering and observing just crystallize into this need for speed.
Yeah.
For pushing the limits of what these machines could do. And remember, this isn't some, sanitized racetrack. This is early motorsports.
Wow.
Dangerous and exhilarating in equal measure.
And then there's the Curtiss, that legendary race car.
Oh, yeah.
This wasn't just some weekend project, was it?
Not at all.
No.
Imagine this. A repurposed airplane engine, a hodgepodge of spare parts, and a team of young mechanics led by a barely legal Honda.
Wow.
This wasn't just about winning. It was about proving what they were capable of.
And when they did,
they did.
The 1924 Japanese Championship.
Amazing.
It's the stuff of legends.
It is.
A victory that cemented Honda's reputation as a rising star in the world of motorsports.
Absolutely.
But it's also a stark reminder of the dangers involved.
Yeah.
In 1936, Honda suffers a near-fatal crash, a brutal end to his promising racing career.
Really makes you think.
That could have been it.
Right.
The end of the road.
Mm-hmm.
But something tells me this setback just fueled his fire even more. What happens next?
It really speaks volumes about Honda, that he saw this accident not as a defeat, but as a redirection. His body may have been battered, but
his mind laser-focused on a new challenge, building his own machines.
So instead of racing cars, he decides to make them, I guess you could say he took that.
Yep.
If you want something done right, attitude to a whole new level.
Absolutely. He starts his own company.
Okay.
Tokai Seiki Heavy Industry, focusing on what might seem like a small piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
Piston rings.
Piston rings, that doesn't exactly scream global empire at first glance.
Right.
What's the significance of this choice?
It's a brilliant strategic move.
Okay.
See, Honda understood that even the most complex machines, they rely on the precision of their smallest components.
Right.
Piston rings were in high demand, and his company's commitment to quality honed by his own meticulous nature, quickly made them a key supplier.
Wow.
To Toyota, no less.
Talk about a ringing endorsement.
But then, just as things are looking up, World War II throws everything into chaos.
Imagine pouring your heart and soul into building a company only to see it literally reduced to rubble.
It's awful.
First bombings, then a devastating earthquake. It's almost unimaginable the setbacks he faced.
You'd forgive anyone for calling it quits at that point, but not Honda.
Right.
This is where that 99% failure mantra really comes into play.
Precisely. Instead of succumbing to despair, he sees opportunity in the ashes.
Wow.
Remember that salvaged military generator engine?
Yeah.
The one everyone else just dismissed as scrap?
Right.
Honda sees potential, a chance to address a pressing need in post-war Japan. Affordable transportation.
And that, my friends, is how you turn a military surplus item into a cultural icon.
I love it.
The Honda dream.
The dream, yeah.
The motorcycle that put a nation on two wheels is born.
It's true. And it wasn't just about practicality, though.
Oh.
Honda understood the human desire for something more. You know, the dream wasn't just a mode of transport. It was a symbol of hope, of progress, of a brighter future.
It's amazing how Honda seemed to tap into the zeitgeist time and time again. But the dream was just the beginning, wasn't it?
It paved the way for the Super Cub,
Right.
a motorcycle so ingenious in its simplicity,
Yeah.
so perfectly suited to the needs of the everyday person,
Right.
that it became a global phenomenon.
That really did.
By 1968, they'd sold 10 million Super Cubs.
10 million. That's mind-boggling.
It's a lot of Cubs.
What was it about the Super Cub that captured the world's imagination?
Well, I think several factors contributed to its success. First, its design. Lightweight, easy to handle, with a low step-through frame that appealed to both men and women.
Right.
Second, its affordability. Honda's efficient manufacturing processes made it accessible to a wider market.
Right.
And finally, its reliability. The Super Cub was built to last, a testament to Honda's obsession with quality.
So you have this winning formula, practicality, affordability, reliability,
It's a good recipe.
and you market it as the bicycle that everyone can ride. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
No wonder it became a symbol of post-war Japanese ingenuity and a global icon.
It's really something, and it's a testament to Honda's ability to not only create innovative products, but to anticipate and meet the needs of a rapidly changing world. But what's even more remarkable is that even as the Super Cub was achieving global domination, Soichiro already had his sights set on a new frontier, the automotive industry.
Talk about ambition. He'd conquered the motorcycle market, but cars were a whole different beast.
Totally different game.
The competition was fierce, the stakes even higher.
For sure.
What made him think he could take on the established giants of the Japanese auto industry?
It goes back to that unwavering belief in his own vision.
Really?
He'd been dreaming of building cars since he was a child, chasing after that Model T.
Right.
And he wasn't about to let a little competition deter him.
So in 1963, he launches the Honda T360 mini truck, a vehicle that seemed tailor-made for Japan's post-war reconstruction efforts.
Exactly. It was small, fuel-efficient, and incredibly practical. Perfect for navigating the narrow streets and transporting goods in a rapidly rebuilding nation.
But he wasn't content with just utility, was he?
No way.
The sporty S500 Roadster followed soon after, a clear signal that Honda wasn't afraid to inject a little fun into their automotive ambitions.
The S500 was a statement car, a head-turner that showcased Honda's engineering prowess and their commitment to pushing the boundaries of design. It was a sign of things to come.
And of course, there's the racing program.
Of course, had to be done.
Honda couldn't resist the allure of the track, could they?
It's in their DNA.
Yeah.
Honda's return to racing wasn't just about nostalgia. It was about testing their mettle against the best in the world.
Right.
And boy, did they make a splash.
The Honda RA271 debuting at the 1964 Belgian Grand Prix, what a moment.
Huge moment.
This wasn't just some publicity stunt. This was Honda announcing their arrival on the world stage of motorsports.
Exactly.
And they weren't content with just participating.
Right.
Their first Formula One victory in Mexico in 1965 with the RA272 was a testament to their engineering prowess and their relentless pursuit of excellence.
Absolutely. They came to win.
But as we'll see, Honda's automotive ambitions went far beyond speed and glory.
Oh, yeah.
They were about to change the way the world thought about cars.
Right.
One fuel-efficient, game-changing model at a time. It's 1972. Picture this. The world is grappling with an oil crisis.
Yeah.
Fuel efficiency is suddenly paramount.
Right.
And along comes Honda with a car that seems I don't know, almost too good to be true.
The Honda Civic,
Yeah.
it wasn't just well-timed, it was revolutionary.
Right.
And it wasn't just about sipping gas. This was a time of, growing environmental awareness.
Yeah.
And Honda, with their decision to eliminate the catalytic converter in the Civic,
Okay.
they were way ahead of the curve.
Now, I'll admit, I'm not a car guy, but ditching the catalytic converter, that was a big deal, right?
It's huge.
Yeah.
Other manufacturers were struggling to meet, increasingly stringent emission standards.
Right.
But Honda found a way to not just comply,
Yeah.
but to eliminate a component altogether.
Wow.
Simplifying the engine, reducing costs.
Yeah.
It was a stroke of engineering genius that just, sent ripples through the industry.
It's like they were playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers.
Totally.
But they weren't done, were they?
No, sir.
They took everything they learned from the Civic and then some,
Yeah.
and gave us...
The Accord, taking the fuel efficiency and practicality of the Civic
Yeah.
and wrapping it in a more spacious, more comfortable package.
Right.
The Accord redefined what a family sedan could be.
It wasn't just a car. It was a statement.
Ew.
Honda was saying, we can do it all.
Right.
And do it all. They did.
They did.
By the late 1980s, they were the third largest automaker in the world.
It's amazing.
From a bombed-out workshop to a global automotive titan in just a few decades, that's the kind of story they make movies about.
It really is. And what's remarkable is that it wasn't just about market dominance.
Right.
Honda, under Soichiro's guidance, never lost sight of their core values: innovation, reliability, and a deep respect for the customer.
Okay, so we've talked about Honda's incredible journey.
We have...
But this Historia de Honda document mentioned something kind of intriguing,
Okay.
that he stepped down as president of Honda Motor Co. in 1973 at the age of 67.
Interesting.
Walk away from the company he built.
Right.
At the height of its success. That's unexpected.
It is.
What was he thinking?
It's a question that has puzzled many. Some speculate that, he felt a need to pass the torch to a new generation to avoid, stifling innovation with any resistance to change.
Right.
Others believe he simply felt he had achieved what he set out to do.
Yeah.
Remember, this is a man driven by challenge, by the thrill of pushing boundaries.
Right.
Maybe leading a well-oiled machine just didn't hold the same allure as forging a new path.
So even in his retirement, he was still disrupting expectations.
Always disrupting. Classic Honda.
Classic Honda. He remained involved in various projects, mentoring young engineers, even dabbling in aerospace. Always seeking new challenges, new ways to apply his unique brand of ingenuity.
Amazing.
This deep dive has really highlighted how Honda's story is about so much more than just cars and motorcycles,
It is.
It's about a mindset, an approach to life and work.
It's about embracing challenges, learning from setbacks, and, never losing sight of the power of innovation.
Right.
It's about that simple yet profound belief that success is 99% failure.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the life and legacy of Soichiro Honda, what's the one thing you hope our listener takes away from this?
I think it's this. What seemingly impossible dream are you holding back from? What's your engine on a bicycle moment? Embrace the possibility of failure and just see where that journey takes you. You might just surprise yourself.
Words to live by. Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive into the life and legacy of Soichiro Honda, a true visionary who dared to dream big and through those dreams changed the world.